Welcome everybody, I am Stevearino and I'm planning a trip to Disney World. So I thought I would kind of show you my techniques so you can kind of see how I do it. Let's go ahead and just dive right in. So first off, what do I know? Why should you be listening to me, right? Well, I spent a long time in the Army, and my last job in there, I was a protocol NCOIC. Protocol means we do itineraries. We set itineraries for generals and things like that. And so I got to learn a whole lot about itineraries back then. So I kind of transferred that stuff into personal life whenever I went on trips, and it was pretty helpful. So I thought I'd kind of share what I learned, and so you can kind of see what how I do it. So first of all, when do you need an itinerary? Well, if you got a large group of people, or a very complex, or you're going lots of places, or you're seeing lots of things, or you have a lot of times to remember, flight times to remember, anything you want to remember, you're going to need an itinerary. It just makes things a lot easier, and it will help you in the long run. It'll help free your mind from trying to remember everything, because I'm working off an old CPU here. I can't remember everything. I got to have an itinerary, otherwise I'd forget my underwear. No, I got them. All right. So why do you need an itinerary? Well, again, why not? Two terms here. It's going to be efficiency, and it's going to be peace of mind. So like I just said, efficiency and peace of mind here. You want to be able to maximize your stay wherever you're going, and be able to fit as many activities and things that you want to do. You don't want to miss things. So having a structured itinerary will help you achieve all of that in the given time that you're there. So how do you make a good itinerary? Well, man, you're in the right spot, because I'm about to show you. So step one, do your research. And when you're doing your research, do it as far in advance as you can. I can't stress this enough. This is the most important thing. You have to, get out there, get those reservations, figure out where you want to stay. If you're going to Disney, well, you better be booking a year out. Okay, you're thinking about next year, this year. If you're planning on going next month, like I am, or the next month after that, I can tell you from experience that's hard to do. You're not going to get good hotel reservations. Luckily I was able to get a flight, but sometimes even flights are going to be hard to get. So if you're flying, driving, things like that, driving is a little different. But travel, do it, and it's also where you're going to find your best deals. So as far in advance as you can, that's when you want to start doing your research. You want to use multiple resources, okay? If you're going to Disney, use the Disney site. But don't be afraid to venture out to other sites who may have alternate information or things that are hidden within the Disney website, or maybe you didn't see it the first time around, or whatever. Or if you're going to Universal or something like that, same type of thing. Use YouTube videos like this to find out what are the little hidden gems or the good places to stay, or if you want to see a video of it before you go, or to decide, use multiple resources. And make sure that you take notes. You want to make a list of things I can't miss, and things that I'd like to do, but it's not going to hurt my feelings if I miss it. That type of thing. All right? So take some notes, collaborate with the people that you are going with, and make sure that they are cool with what you're doing and what you want to do. If you get somebody who, you want to go to the water park, and they're like, well, I don't want to get wet, so I'm not going to the water park. Okay, well, that kind of thing, that throws a monkey wrench into the whole situation. So you got to be diplomatic about it. Find things for everybody in your party to do at given times, and then, everybody can kind of meet it. Means, all right, well, I'm going to do this, and you're going to do that, but we'll meet up here. That type of thing. So be diplomatic about it. Take notes. do all of the research because it'll pay off in the end. The next thing, once you've done all that, you put all this information together, you've got your notes, you kind of have an idea for when you're going to go. You've already secured your deal. You haven't bought it yet, but you say, okay, I figure if we go this time, and we're going to stay at this place, and we're going to go to this park, and we're going to do that. You want to put that plan together. So when you're doing that, you kind of want to do it in this order right here. You want to do transportation first, because it doesn't make any sense to book a hotel on a date when you can't get a flight in on that date, right? So that'd be kind of a bummer. So you got to arrive the day before, the day after, or you can't get another flight for another 3 days. So now you've got to go in and change your lodging information, your lodging reservations. So get your transportation first, get that knocked out, then go ahead and get your lodging, and then after that, then go ahead and get your park tickets, park reservations, dining reservations, things like that in that order. All right, so when doing these plans, how much is too much and how much is not enough, right? There is a thing called over-planning. You don't want to over-plan yourself to death. Make sure that you're leaving room for, pivoting, having unforeseen events, okay? There's also underplanning. So if you are, you just putting, we're going to go to Magic Kingdom that day. You're going to get there, you're going to look around, you're going to go, wow, this is cool. Now what? Right? Or you could be one of those people that's standing there, looking at their phone and just kind of standing in the middle of Main Street, blocking the view for everybody else because you have no idea what you're doing next, right? We've all seen those people. We love to hate them. But they're there. And if you're one of those people, I'm sorry. But that's probably why you're here looking at this. So, have a plan, but keep it flexible, okay? Kind of loosey-goosey, all right? All right. Next thing is, that popped up prematurely, is itinerary lingo, okay? Now, what the heck is itinerary lingo? Well, this is kind of stemmed from when I was in the Army, and we would use terms like en route, which means traveling. Sounds very militaristic, en route. I don't even think it's a word. But it's what we use to just say, okay, we're en route from point A to point B. That's all that means. And I just got used to using it, so I still use it. And you can use it if you want. Free of charge. Next is no later than. That means that's a hard stop. Okay, it means I have to be at point A at this time. Okay, my flight leaves at this time. My checkout time is this time. So these are no later. The show starts at 9 p.m. My reservations are for this time. So no later than just indicates that's a hard time. Not a lot of flexibility in it, so you want to make sure that you get there on time for whatever it is that you're trying to do. Next is as desired. That's pretty much self-explanatory. Just do what you want, right? So those are the kind of things this is the lingo that I kind of use in my itineraries when I'm building them to kind of denote the theme or what is happening and how should I be feeling. So if I know it's an LT or no later than, I say, that's a hard time, we need to be there. Well, if it's as desired, then it's like, look at this, squirrels. So, all right, next is time frames, and you want to make sure that you're keeping those realistic. You don't want to micromanage your time. In other words, or you don't want to, just keep them realistic. Don't try to think that you're going to get from the ticket and transportation center to the Magic Kingdom in 5 minutes. That's not going to happen. Ever. I don't think. No, that's never going to happen. Also, make sure that you use bullet points. If time's not an issue, then just put them down as a bullet point. Say, these are the attractions. You put down a time block, like of 3 hours, and say, from this time to this time, we're going to do, Buzz Lightyear, we're going to do Space Mountain, Speedway, things like that. Just use your, use what activities you want to do and put them in kind of a bullet format. All right. So speaking of format, is what kind of format is my itinerary going to be in, right? You want to make sure that you use a format that works for you. Now, some people, there's basically two schools of thought for this. The first is going to be paper format, which is the old school version. Kind of like I've used before in the past. Use this little coffee stain thing from 1998, or no, 2008. Is that what it is? 2000? I have no idea. But yeah, this is this little pocket thing, and it just, basically it's a piece of paper cut in four and cut it up, and we just put things at the top, and this is kind of what we used in the military, I just kind of carried it over and just made little things in here, and I put little pictures in there to make myself feel happy about it, and, I can go in there and make notes. Now, of course, my CPU and my graphics processor were a lot better back in those days. Nowadays, I kind of have to, use glasses to be able to see this thing. So, which brings us to our second format. Use paper size copy, but digital. Everybody's got one of these things now, and you can zoom in, make the text as big as you want or as small as you want. And honestly, that's probably the best way to do it. But use it on a format. You can use like Microsoft OneNote or Word or Google Docs, or you could just Notepad or whatever. You can put it in a digital format. As long as you can read it on your phone, make sure you save an offline copy, because if you're on the plane and you're trying to read through your itinerary to see what's coming up next, aside from the fact that they'll probably tell you to put your electronic device away. Well, I mean, this is, that's just takeoff and landing. But during the trip, you should be able to, look at your phone. But save an offline copy for when you don't have access to the internet. So there's that tip for you. All right. Once you've done all that, you've got your outline in place. Next step is to refine the plan. So to do that, you've kind of got your outline in place. Now you want to kind of do a mental dry run. In other words, you want to read it and kind of imagine yourself, put yourself in your own situation of how you've mapped it out. And you say, okay, from this time, we're going to do this, and we're going to leave from there to go to there, and we're going to, once we get there, then we're going to do this activity, yada, yada, yada. Do a mental dry run so you kind of get a feel for how the trip is going to go, how the day is going to go, and you'll be, honestly, things will flesh themselves out. You'll see them. You'll know that, I can't be from here to there in that amount of time. That's never going to work. So this is when you're doing your mental dry runs. Make sure you pad those travel times. I can't stress this enough. You don't want to pad them too much, but typically I would probably put 15 minutes on the front and back to pad those travel times. So make sure they're realistic travel times. Depending on if you're waiting on a bus schedule, then take whatever the interval is between buses and make that your padding. Look for concurrent, no later than events. What that's going to do is there's your dinner and fireworks example right there. You don't want to book a dinner at Le Cellier at Epcot at 8 p.m. and then expect to be out for the fireworks at 9 p.m. Because if you have to wait an extra 15 minutes for your table, or it takes a long time to get your food, the next thing you know, you're getting out maybe right at 9 o'clock, and the fireworks have already started. You've got no place to stand. You don't have a place to scope out to try and get a good view. You're never going to get any good pictures. So make sure that you're spacing out those hard times apart so that they don't conflict. Okay. Now you want to validate all of the details. Okay. So this is when you are going to make sure that everything is how you originally put it down. You've already laid out your plans. I mean, we're almost done right now. You just got to work on you want to look for, this is just a last once over, right? You're looking for typos and whatnot, okay? So now you're essentially done. Next step is to, well, like I said, yeah, there it is. Look for typos. Now we're to the last step, which is 3 to 4 days before your trip. Now this is hopefully your itinerary's been done for a while. You want to do kind of put it away, and then 3 to 4 days before you actually leave to go on your trip, you're going to go back in, and you're going to want to make sure that you confirm your reservations to make sure all that's there. Make sure that when you actually booked it, that you actually hit buy now or confirm or whatever, because you may have thought that you made reservations, but because you forgot to click the button, maybe, I don't know. But make sure you confirm, make sure that everything's everything. Also want to verify that your research data is still valid. So check the websites again. Check your notes to see where you got what information from where. Go back to that and make sure that everything is still everything. Okay. Sometimes that they change refurbishment schedules on things, or you will have something will have happened. Maybe something caught on fire and now it's closed. Right. You never know, but this is when you want to go back. Just verify all of that research is good. And you'll be able to carry on. And then you're going to just do your final review. You're going to check over the whole thing, make sure all of your I's are dotted, your T's are crossed, and everything looks good. Everybody's fine with it. Everybody knows what's going on. And then once you're done with that, then it's step 5. Have a great trip. One thing I can't stress enough is to not stress. You've got this, right? You've done all your homework. You've done all of the research. You've gotten the best deal. You're not paying too much for it because you found all those deals. So this is the way you want to do it, folks. You can actually go enjoy your trip with the knowledge that you've done everything you possibly can to have a great trip. So let's kind of summarize with all of the steps real quick. Step 1, do your research. Now this is the longest step. You want to make sure you do it in far advance as you can. The better your research, the better your itinerary will be. And step number 2 is this is where you put it all together. Transportation and lodging is booked, reservations are made, and where your itinerary starts to take shape. Here's where we do all of the fine-tuning. Strategies and timing are developed. Important information like flight and hotel information is noted, and contact numbers are listed in case something goes wrong. And right before your trip is where you confirm reservations, validate all your data, make sure there's last-minute revisions, and conduct your final review. And of course, the best step, which is to have a great trip. Don't stress about it. You've got this. You've already done everything that you could do, and you'll have all the resources you need to deal with any contingencies that come up. So there it is, kids. That's how I plan my trips, and I hope I've helped you learn something. If you have any questions or need some clarification on anything, go ahead and leave me a comment down below. And if you like this video, go ahead and click that like button. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed, and click that bell notification icon to be notified when I post a new video. With that, I'm off to plan my next adventure, and I'm inviting you to join me. Won't you? Come on, you can do it. It'll be fun.